Hey everybody, this is Adam Zundel from the Mountain East Conference, and we wanted to take this opportunity to highlight some of the people that are working behind the scenes so diligently as we get play underway here in the second semester. And joining us today is the new athletic director at Wheeling University, Pat Snively. Pat, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Adam. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking some time with us. And let's just start out real general and tell the folks a little bit about your background before taking the job at Wheeling.
Sure. Well, Adam, I think you're familiar with my background as we spent some time together at Fairmont State. I was a student athlete at Fairmont State. I don't want to say what years I was there as a student athlete, but after spending some time as a student athlete and a student assistant coach, I moved on to West Virginia University and got a master's degree. I immediately came back to Fairmont State and was an assistant coach for a year. My then coach Ed Denny took a new job at Cal PA. I was named interim head coach and spent 20 years there as head men's and women's swimming coach. The latter part of my career, I started delving into the administrative side, working in compliance for part of that time. And then, as an associate athletic director and then senior associate athletic director, working with student athlete development and that full student athlete experience, trying to work on leadership qualities, getting our students more involved. Some of the things that I had really tried to drive home with our student athletes within our swimming program, I wanted to take that to the broader audience of all of our student athletes, and that's kind of what propelled me into the latter half of my career there, and then. Just 23 days ago, I set foot on campus here as the athletic director, and just in a short period of time, we've been really busy and just trying to keep sports going here. We hit the ground running just a few days after I got here. We started playing basketball, so we're in the midst of winter sports right now, and we've got other sports that are about to kick off. So we're going to have everything going all at once in a short period of time. And then, it's an exciting time.
What was it about the position at Wheeling? I know you mentioned in your introductory press conference that it was the only athletic director job that you applied for. What was it about the opportunity that was appealing?
It's funny. It is the only athletic director job that I applied for, and it wasn't like I had been scrolling through the one ads for an athletic director job. It wasn't a situation where I was looking to leave Fairmont State. It was my home, my alma mater. Met my wife there. It's Fairmont's a big part of my life, and it always will be. But Wheeling was appealing to me. It was appealing to me to stay within the conference. The conference is special to me. We competed against Wheeling quite often. I've been on this campus several times, and something felt different about this campus. It's small, it's close knit. I didn't know a lot of the people yet, but I started to get to know them through the interview process, and that felt good to me. It felt right. But growing up in the Catholic faith, there was something about that draw to me as well. And just as I submitted my materials and applying for the job, it was a leap of faith certainly, but something that was a calculated risk to me to take.
You mentioned it a little bit, and from observing from my spot from afar, one of the hallmarks of your teams at Fairmont State was the amount of pride that they have of having the uniform and competing. How did you build that? And also how do you take some of those elements, not as a coach and as an athletic director, to still have that same level of pride in the program?
That's tough. A lot of that was organic. It all started, I think, with, personal pride I had as a student athlete with my teammates. Just I think there was a pride in the daily grind of being a student athlete. We talked that up a good bit. You know, I don't think that's unique to swimming in particular. You know, I think every coach says, you know, you're the hardest working team on campus, right? You know, but you know, you talk that up a little bit, and you know, your season's long, and you got to get the kids through. So we, you know, we talk about, you know, what it means to go through that together. We talk about the journey. Um, you know, the destination kind of takes care of itself, but it's the day in and the day out. You know, you're not always the best of friends. You don't always love one another. But in the end, I think one piece that always stood out to me was the culmination of everything. You've been at the conference championship with us the past few years, and um, you know, hopefully you've been able to see kind of as you've witnessed, you know, the teams that I've coached cheering one another on. That doesn't happen every day at practice. You know, you're competing with each other at practice every day. But you know, we've developed sort of that bond of, you know, this is the journey. You know, we want to compete against each other every single day, but once we get to the conference championship, you know, we are one. I think a lot of that also has to do with trying to get our kids involved in things outside of sport and outside of the classroom. We do a lot of community service. Yeah, I'm speaking in present tense, but you know, it's still, you know, pretty fresh in my mind. But you know, doing a lot of community service with that team, um, and that's something that I know that Sabrina will carry on with that team because she's very community service minded. Um, you know, just getting the kids involved with things outside of themselves, I think brings them closer together and brings a lot of civic pride. And you know, those are the kind of things, you know, that I think resonate within a team. Um, it's hard to do that, I think, from, you know, this seat. Um, uh, you know, it's hard to say, you know, your team needs to do this, but you know, I know our coaches are already doing a lot of these things, but you know, right now, um, you know, I think there's a big bond among all of our programs just because of COVID. You know, I think that, you know, we're all surviving and thriving because um, you know, Carrie Hanna has kind of carried the torch for this department. And I came into a situation, I'm very blessed by the situation, obviously, but I'm blessed because, you know, she kept the troops motivated, and I came kind of walking into a situation that is turnkey as far as that goes. And I can just build upon that as we move forward. And that's exciting to me.
Yeah, well, in terms of walking in turnkey and that element, there's a lot of elements that you want just because of the nature of COVID and trying to conduct so many sports. What has been, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more challenge, but right off the top, like what has been just so challenging, and how challenging has it been to get everything together? Just on you know, we're thinking basketball, but wrestling's happening and all preseason sports. I mean, how difficult has that been to manage and get things moving forward?
No, that's that's uh, that's $1 million question, right? You know, and I don't think it's any secret because, you know, everybody's seen that a lot of our schools have postponed contests. You know, it's not a big secret. We've postponed some as well. Um, it's just, you know, you hold your breath as we do our testing. I, I'm kind of the impression that, you know, I wish we tested more because uh, right now, because, you know, we've got a lot of sports that are in the midst of just surveillance testing right now. We are with our winter sports, we're picking up more positives because we're testing more often. But you know, as we get further along with some of our other sports, we're going to be testing more often. And you know, does that mean that we're going to be picking up more positives? I sure hope not, but at least that's a safety net for us to catch some of that and prevent further spread. But, you know, I do hold my breath because, you know, we want to um, prevent this from spreading as much as we possibly can and keeping people safe. But you know, the moment that we pop a positive, as we say, you know, the wheels start turning, and we've got to do a lot of things to, you know, alert folks and quarantine and postpone competitions, reschedule competitions, and that takes a lot of time. You know, I think that's one thing that I knew I was getting involved with, but I didn't realize how much time that would take out every single day. You have one, you know, a positive test or two, and that may take the better part of the day to deal with that situation. Uh, and I want to progress. I want to, you know, I wanted to come in here and, you know, start making some moves and, you know, meeting with donors and, you know, trying to propel everybody forward. And that sort of stuff takes a back seat right now. Understandably so. The safety aspect is what comes first and foremost. But um, you know, hopefully folks understand that you know, we're trying to do these things first, and you know, kind of on the periphery, I'm working on you know, planning for the other things.
All right. Well, we will let you get back to that. We appreciate the time. We want to thank you for all the work that you're doing on campus. We know it's been a challenge. Congratulations on the job too. We kind of skipped over that. So thanks for your time again.
Thank you, and thank you everybody at the MEC for all your help and support and all this. Thank you.
You got it.